Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
Okay, what are you saying, people? Welcome back to another live stream. Hope you're all doing well. Having a great week so far. Again, it's only Wednesday, but hope you're all doing well. Again, guys, like always, feel free to ask whatever markets you're looking at in the chat. I'll take a look at it for you. Let me know what time frames you're working on as well, so we can dive deeper and see what's going on for you. And if you're trading any pairs currently, if you haven't already, make sure to go check out the Telegram channel. Link to that in the description and also in the chat. And if you're looking for a broker, IC Markets, broker I've been using for the past couple of years, got my affiliate link there. If you want to use it, feel free to do so. But like always, guys, another live stream for you. Going to talk you through what's going on in the charts, see if you've got any opportunities coming our way. So currently still in my USD CAD position, which I got into yesterday. Again, I did put this one on the Telegram group, but yeah, still in this trade here. Price has suffered some retracement against me here. Did quite a nice push initially, but we have suffered some retracement. So I'm looking at mainly this support here on the left taking that across because it's kind of like a double top essentially, which I was telling you guys on the stream yesterday, that potentially we could see a double top here form because we're coming into a really nice area of support resistance on the 4H stroke daily time frame. You can see there massive support there, big move to the upside, simply just coming to retest that as resistance. So we're looking for that move to the downside, and we're also expecting to see the DXY roll over, see some dollar weakness coming in. So there's some nice confluences to go short there for USD nice first push. Price has kind of retraced that push now, and now it's coming back into this support here, which is kind of like the neckline of the double top. So that's the first high, the second high, and now price is holding that as resistance. So I'll remain in the trade as long as price can stay below this level here. If it breaks above, I'll exit the trade because there's no need for price to come all the way against me after already having that much of a push. Yes, price could push in and then come back down, but I'd rather just look for re-entries than stay in the trade, especially with FOMC coming out later. Hey, love to see that. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Love to hear that. Any pairs you guys looking at, or looking to trade or currently trading? See what's happening. But yeah, USD overall kind of sideways since that first push. We're going to see how this one gets on. Again, did bank some profit around this area here, which was the first TP. Strong area of demand. You can see very, very big push with those candlesticks. So generally this area was going to be some buys sitting here that could go against me, and it did. So I did make sure I banked some profit there. Second TP was down here, 1.26200. So yeah, we'll see if we can hold that support there. If not, we'll exit. If we can, cool, we could probably roll over. But yeah, I've been looking at the DXY a lot, and I'm anticipating this one coming all the way back down. I think this initial move here that we saw Monday is kind of the last push up before we do roll over. But of course I'm anticipating that. Obviously I don't know for sure. But I think that last push up on Monday is the last push before we do take a dive. So that's what I'm anticipating, because if this thing was going to go bullish, you would expect this bullish momentum from Monday just to continue. Obviously you can see some slight retracement, but because that was such a strong push, if this thing was going to go bullish and come back to highs, you expect that momentum to continue. And you can see it's running out of steam. Very strong reaction at, I can't remember what time that was that 12? Around there, 12.1. Yesterday, strong reaction to the downside. Tried to go bullish again after that strong reaction, tried to go bullish again, failed to do so, and rolled over again overnight coming into London this morning. So for me, I think the dollar is going to collapse. Again, like I said, for the past 3-4 weeks now, I do have the targets down here, 94,400. So I do think that is where the DXY is coming. Again, more long term, but I do think that is where we're coming to, starting to round off now. So for me, I think the dollar is going to see a lot of weakness. Maybe with NFP coming, FOMC, that could be some catalyst for it. Or if that's obviously bullish for the dollar, we could just see a massive move up. Obviously, we'll just have to wait and see. But from my analysis, it does look like DXY is gonna drop. I've got a short on USDJPY at 116.288. Fair play. USDJPY has been very, very bullish. It's due some retracement now. Should I put my TP on what time frame? Yeah, we'll take a look at that. USDJPY. So yeah, USDJPY was very, very bullish yesterday, taking out those highs on the left. I did say that once we do see some retracement, I do think that's where price is going to come back in, because you can see there, if I drop to the hourly, we broke through that prior high at 115.523, never came back for the retest. Normally when you do see price break through quite big highs, major highs, we do normally come back for a retest. If not straight away, we push on and then come back later to come retest it. And this sell here that you're in could be the retest of that level. So yeah, you could have your targets at the prior structural high here at 115.523, looking for the retest of that. Again, price is not too far away from that. If I just measure that in pips, around 26 pips. So I would say that could be your first kind of major target. Maybe you can push it further because it could be a false break of the high, but I wouldn't be too overly confident with that because again the trend is still up on a lot of time frames here, the daily, the weekly, price is still very, very bullish on. So I wouldn't hold those sells for too long. But yeah, that is probably where I would target if I was in those shorts. Also, do watch out for this area here on the left. Strong area of support, demand. They give us that big push to the upside, which price is just tapped into now. We could see some retracement from here, but price does, look very strongly bullish from this area. Do be wary because again, price is still in that bullish trend, and if it does find the support here, it could turn bullish again. So we've tapped into that now, so do watch out for that. But yeah, if I was in the shorts, I will be targeting 115.523 as that prior high, now acting as support. Yeah, shorts on USJY could be good. Again, I wouldn't get in now. Again, 116.288 is all the way up here, so that's a really, really nice entry. All the way up there, pretty much, bang on the money at the top there. But I wouldn't get involved in shorts now. I do think, like I said, we could still come lower into that 115.523 area. Which is that prior high there on the left, just taken across. So I do think we can come into that. Whether we can come further than that, potentially, but I want to see how price reacts with that level. Because if price comes in and start putting wicks at this level, then we're probably going to see a move up. But if we just break straight through, then yeah, we've probably seen a massive false break of that high, and we could, tank a lot lower. So there is a lot of room to the downside after a big push up like that for USDJPY. But yeah, I would say targets at 115.523 look the best. And if you're looking for shorts, wouldn't short coming into here, would wait for price to push up again, give us another lower high, and then get some shorts in. That way you've got bearish toward and you're not, selling into support. And especially at a strong area like that, an uptrend after we've already seen some retracement. So yeah, I would wait for a move up first, give us a lower high, and then you can stick some shorts in, and I'll probably target 115.523. But as of now, a bit too risky in my opinion. After we've already seen the move. Yeah, sure thing. Euro USD, Hamzin, we'll take a look at that. So yeah, Euro USD looking fairly bullish. Like I said with my analysis on the DXY, I'm expecting the DXY to fall. For like quite a big 4 high time frame, drop back down to, what was that, 94,500. So quite a way down for DXY. So I'm expecting obviously the exact opposite on Euro USD. So I'm expecting a big push to the upside and price coming back up to these areas. Obviously that's not going to happen in one day. That's going to take a few days, may even take a few weeks depending how strong the move is. But I do think it's time for Euro USD to reverse. It's tried to go bearish a few times now, especially after this sell-off there on Monday. If this thing was going to go bearish, you would expect that momentum to continue. It's failed to do so, and we're starting to find some support. So Euro USD longs is what would be best, I would say. Again, the market is very, very choppy. You can see we are still in consolidation, so it's still difficult, to find good opportunities when we are moving like this. But we are essentially just holding onto this support here. So essentially, you want to be buying from this support at 1.13 to 1.129. Essentially, stop loss below here, and you could really take advantage of that move. If you're looking at the lower time frames like hourly, I think for this one, because we found our support, we're already pushing to the upside. We need price to retrace one more time and then go bullish, just to get us an opportunity, because obviously this one's already pushing to the upside. You would have to have entered around 2 a.m. To get involved with this during the Asian session, GMT that is. So yeah, retracement for Euro USD, but like I said, heavily bullish on Euro USD. Not the cleanest pair in the world because of how it's moving. But I would only be looking for buys really, waiting for price to find support, and then when we do see some good entry signals, can look to execute on that. So yeah, for me, Euro USD bullish. We could just push to the upside from where we are without that retracement. Obviously that could happen. If that's the case, you probably want to be dropping to the 4H or even to the daily to trade it. But if you do want to use the lower time frames, maybe a break and retest of this region here could be a nice entry. Get above that, come back, retest it, and then go bullish. That could be something to think of if we don't come back down. But like I said, either which way, I can only see Euro USD going bullish. But obviously we do have some news coming out later which could change things up and stir the pot. So obviously do take that into account. Went long on pound USD 1.35454. We'll take a look at that, Jamie. Pound USD, pound USD, I'm still quite bullish on this one. We did see a nice move to the upside yesterday. Again, I was talking about pound USD, saying that if we can respect this price structure here, give us a test of that, we'll probably go bullish. We had a really nice test of that, can drop to the 30-minute, and you can see strong reaction there and a move to the upside. So price held that area from yesterday because we didn't want to see price roll over again. And yeah, I do think 1.36 is the next target for this pair, next psychological level, and also, you know, that next kind of area on the daily is what I'm expecting price to go to. So yeah, we've got clear bear structure, clear bullish structure, sorry, on the daily there, and the weekly is really showing signs of a lot of bullish momentum. So yeah, for me, there's no real point of selling this one. Yes, we could see some downside, but I think it's likely just to be retracement. We are coming back into these highs, so do be wary of that. Which entry 1.354. We're going the hourly chart 1.354. So yeah, entries there. Yeah, it's not the best entry. Not in terms of price action, just in terms of where the price is at. Because obviously we're trading at that high there. So you do run the risk of price obviously finding resistance at that high and coming back down again before going bullish. So your bias could be correct, but price could obviously go against you a little bit before it does go in your favor. So with that said, it's still a good opportunity. I do agree with the bias. It's just that the entry might not be the best just because of where it is coming into that previous high there. You can really see some rejection on the 4H. Price could sell off a little bit before it does push on. But if that's the case, and if it does sell off a little bit, then you can just look for another re-entry and get back involved. As long as your risk to reward, is at least a 2 to 1, you should be fine. If that trade does become a loser, you can find the next entry to take this up. Because even if we do push the downside, that doesn't change too much. I still would expect price to push into 1.36. So yeah, the entry might not be the best just because of where it is, but if it does come against you, simply just look for another re-entry, and your risk reward should take care of that loss if it does happen. But yeah, subscriber, thank you for that, love to see that, welcome to the family. But yeah, if price does move against you, just simply look for another entry to get involved. No problem, Hansen, happy to help. Stopped out of Euro JP buy again, Sun NG Euro buy. Yeah, what happened there, Chia? Because Euro JPY was quite bullish. I could have thought. Yeah, Euro JPY did move to the upside. Was it stopped out at break even? Because we have seen some retracement over the Asian session here, so maybe you would have stopped out break even. But yeah, Euro JPY overall is still quite bullish. I did say yesterday that this would be my target. We didn't quite hit that area, to be honest. We missed it by a few pips there. But yeah, that would have been my target for Euro JPY if I was in buys, coming into that major support there on the daily, which you just about missed. But yeah, overall, I did agree with the bias there for Euro JPY. Price was still pushing to the upside quite strongly. There was no real opportunity, to sell the pair. Buys was the only clean option. It still is looking relatively bullish. It could roll over maybe once, but it still is showing that push, pullback structure there. So yeah, I suppose if Euro JPY did have that retracement, stop chat break even, I mean, as long as you hopefully banks a profit, doesn't matter too much. As the JPY, that one did have quite a nice push there. I remember we were looking at this one around here-ish, I believe yesterday. Was it around here? Yeah, 10 a.m. So yeah, coming back above that support, kind of a false break below, we got back above that. Price continued to the upside. So yeah, where's your target for NZD-JPY, Gia? Where's your target for this pair? I would guess, is it up there on the daily, or is it further than that? But yeah, NZD-JPY is still looking bullish, and it is now retesting this area here as support. So resistance simply coming support there. We could see some nice continuation to the upside, still looking bullish, and that's what I would expect price to do, unless of course it breaks back below, but I would expect it to go bullish again. And Euro USD buy nice. Again, Euro USD is looking really good. I'm expecting the DXY to give us a big collapse here to the downside, back down to some of these lows here, and eventually 94,500. So I'm quite bearish on the dollar here. So naturally I'll be very bullish on Euro USD. So yeah, Euro USD looking good. Again, I wasn't kind of awake for any good entries here. This is kind of like 1 a.m. GMT, so agent session, not really a session that I trade. But yeah, looking bullish. And yeah, if we can snap through this, I'm expecting price to continue. To be honest, for Euro, as long as we stay above this support, really, which we came back to respect yesterday at 1.12800, as long as we stay above that support, I do think Euro is on its way back up to these highs here, and a lot further than that. So essentially, as long as price can stay above that, as long as your stop loss is below, you should be well protected for this trade. If it does come and take out the support, price might be trying to move back down to these lows potentially. We could come back for another retest. That could just be more entry, more setups for us to get back involved. But essentially, as long as we stay above that support, I'm expecting price to come to those highs. We had nice 3 attempts to try and break through it. 1, 2, 3. Failed to do so. Now if you can break through that resistance there, Euro should see a lot of upside. NZD-JPY target, okay, stopped at break even, nice. NZD-JPY target 79.5. Okay, 79.5, nice. That's pretty much in the thick of the level that I just drew out there. So yeah, that looks good. Chia, that looks good. Price is now back above the area, so I would expect that to happen. Still showing that bullish structure there. So yeah, looking good. Yeah, just keep an eye on price action above this level. See if you can hold that. Dip back below might become a little bit dodgy, but if price does hold that for you, you should be seeing some nice continuation for NZD-JPY there. So yeah, overall looking pretty good there. No problem, happy to help. But yeah, Euro USD, I mean, I'll be looking for buys for this one coming in today, but I haven't really found an opportunity there. I'll kind of just pushing to the upside quite aggressively. So we'll be looking for a retest of that, or break and retest of this level. Either which way, I'm expecting this to push up. And again, I know I'm saying because Euro USD is in consolidation, it's a little bit difficult to trade, not the cleanest, price action. But when it does consolidate like this, we normally do see a big breakout, a big move in the market. So if you can catch some buys for this and hold on to it for a nice swing trade, swing opportunity, could really be in a really nice trade that you could hold for like a week or so. and really capture some nice pips there. But obviously we do have some news coming out later which could change things up, so we'll keep an eye out for that. Maybe there could be some nice opportunities after the news coming into tomorrow. But yeah, still currently in USD CAD, see if we can roll over there. I'm pretty much looking at all these USD pairs, and they're all pretty much showing USD bearishness. So yeah, they're pretty much all in sync here. And I think the move is just getting ready to happen. It's getting ready to happen. I do think that the news events coming out this week could be the catalyst for that. Again, that's just my kind of thought process behind it. It's not 100%. The news could go, completely the opposite way, but that's what I do think could happen. Normally you do see news events like that are the catalyst for some moves, breakouts, trend reversals. So I do think it could happen this week, but we will see. Eurocad, Yasin, sure thing, we'll take a look at that. No problem, Jamie, happy to help. Eurocad. Where is Eurocad? 1 second. Okay, so Eurocad. Eurocad, we've seen some nice downside for this one. We failed to commit to the upside for the reversal. We failed, we rolled over. So it does look like Eurocad essentially is trying to go back bearish again. So we had that key support there, gave us a move to the upside, turn resistance, price rejected that to the downside. Another subscriber, love to see that, welcome to the family. Eurocad tried to go bullish, failed to do so, rolled over. Now I do think Eurocad could see a lot more downside for this one. You can see down the weekly, nice wick to the upside, pull back down, gave us that wick, and then we had that bearish candle. So I think overall the bearish momentum from this leg here is still intact, and we could see the market roll over. So I think Eurocad can see a little bit more downside coming into this support down there. Again, we might see some retracement beforehand, but that is where I do expect Eurocad to come into. We do have a fairly strong support level here. That price did have a nice break and retest. So if you're looking for entries, the price was to make its way back into this area around 1.44200. Some sales will be looking good there, and I do think we can take it into those lows. I was looking for sales for Eurocad coming into the week, but it wasn't really clean with this price action here. I was hoping price could maybe push further into the zone first before we do sell off. It kind of really had a bit of a drop, but I've seen some strength now. If we can hold below this, sales will be looking good again. Break above, then we might turn bullish, and we can reanalyze the pair, probably switch our bias around if we do get back above this level. Something like that could happen. But yeah, I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled to see what happens on the retest of this. If we can come back to that level again. If we hold it, sales will be looking good, and that will be the target, that low there, 1.422. 1.422 is where I'm expecting price to go for Eurocad. Gold, sure thing, MM. Yeah, gold's looking bullish. Gold is looking bullish. Again, I remember someone yesterday saying that they were in a trade from 1820, I think it was, in a long position from 1820, and they were asking should they hold on to the position or not. And you can see, I don't know if they did or they didn't, but if they did hold on to the position, price would be right back to where the entry is. So that's the thing, that you don't know what to do, because if you're in a buy position and it goes south and you didn't exit, or you didn't have an exit plan or exit strategy, you don't know what to do. Should you exit and save potential loss from growing further, or hold in case price does come back to come back to your entry, and at the end of the day, you don't know what's going to happen. It could go further, it could come back to you. In that position, when people ask me, excuse me, when people ask me what to do, I normally just say just exit the position, because if it goes even further, you're going to wish you exited sooner. Obviously, price could reverse back to you, but that's what the market can do. So yeah, gold right now is still looking bullish. Again, essentially we respected that prior low there, and price could still push on a little bit further, because if this is a high-low formation, which from what I'm seeing now, it looks like it is a high-low formation. Price tried to break bullish, did it once, twice, and then snap bullish. You can see there we had that little sell-off there, failed to commit to the downside, very strong bullish candle, and from there onwards we continue to the upside. So that does look like a nice double bottom, high low, and if that is the case, we're coming back to these highs here at 1830. So yeah, for me, I would say I'm bullish on gold. Daily showing a lot of bullish signs as well. I know we've got that big bearish candle there, but that kind of if you kind of just ignore that too much, you can see prices really displaying some nice bullish structure there on the daily. So yeah, I would say we're coming back up into these highs here, 1830, very strong level of resistance, and if we can break through 1830, then we can probably see price come into some of these areas up there as well. But for me, gold is displaying a lot of bullish price action, so I wouldn't be interested in sells really. I think buys are the best bet for this one, and yeah, 1830 is where I'm seeing price heading towards. So if you're looking at entries, be a little bit careful, because we do have some resistance coming up, some supply coming up there. So I think the best possible case for entries would have been if price was to form another higher low here, and then you can look to get involved and take that higher. But yeah, it's not the best place to look to get long into, because we could be suffering quite a lot of drawdown. Want price to come against us first, give us an entry signal, and then go with price rather than get on a moving train, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'll look for price to retrace again, form a higher low. You probably want to drop to the lower time frames like the 30 or maybe the 50-minute price can drop down, give us another price action, higher low, maybe even a retest of this level here, and then get long. But yeah, I would say I'm bullish on gold, expecting 1830. So yeah, I hope that helped. No problem, happy to help, man. I remember we were looking at Euro AUD yesterday as well. Looking at this one, wasn't sure if it's going to go bullish or bearish, because very important to take into account both directions. If price could potentially go bullish, if price could potentially go bearish. I was looking at the daily, which is kind of like the main time frame I try to use for direction. And you can see we had that support there, which is now time resistance, which price came in respected. And we also had this consolidation here, which price broke out of. So we're expecting to see maybe price come back to retest it and then go bullish and reverse. So I had a couple reasons why price could go bearish and price could go bullish. So dropping into the lower time frames, 4H hourly, I said if we can hold above this level, then maybe we can go bullish and see that continuation. But you can see we kind of faked to go higher, dropped and closed below, and then when we closed below, we kind of had that fake out above that high. So double top essentially, first top there, first top over here, second top there, fake out above that high, and then yeah, drop the downside. So for me, UAD is still bearish now, and I think we'll probably I'm going to go and take out that wick soon. I think price is just suffering some retracement, but I do think we'll probably roll over and turn bearish here. We're back below a key level of support and resistance here. You can see key support there, back below that. So yeah, in my opinion, I think UAD is just going to roll over here, and like I've been saying, AUD for me, I'm expecting that to go much higher. I think we can push on a little bit further. Again, I had 0.73 as my target for the week, which did take a bit of a hit on Monday with that bearish move, but since we've just closed straight back above this support, I do think that 0.73 is back on the table, especially with the dollar weakness that I'm expecting as well. So yeah, AUSD, I'm expecting more upside. We are coming into some support here on the left, which is now resistance. So you can see all that support there, now resistance, which we still need to break above. But I think we will manage to do that. If not, we might come back for a retest of this low and then go bullish. But yeah, I'm not interested in sales whatsoever, really. Yeah, so EURAUD for me, I just expect it to continue to the downside, to take that low out at 1.55617. Again, we didn't hold that support that I was talking about yesterday. We broke to the downside, retested. Essentially, that daily had a nice break and retest, gave us that double top. So yeah, that low is what I'm expecting to get taken out. So if you're looking to trade EURAUD, you could probably maybe look for a test of that and get short, or maybe drop to the lower time frames, look for low high and get short. But for me, that wick there, I think we're going to come and take that out, or at least come back and respect it again. Either which way, I can see more downside for EURAUD. And same thing for Euro NZD as well, which is having a really hard time to turn bullish, because I was expecting price to find some strength to go bullish again, but you can see with all these wicks here, it's telling us that we are very much struggling to go bullish. Essentially, we do have a strong area of support which price keeps respecting here, but I do think we're slowly getting prepared to go and break through that low and see a lot more downside for Euro NZD. So for me, Euro NZD, I'm expecting to go bearish. EURAUD, I'm expecting to go bearish. And AUDUSD, I'm expecting to see a break of this level. It looks like it's trying to do that. Again, we still do have to wait for those candle closures, because if we do pull back, we might come back for another retest of this low. But we are looking very bullish, and NZD/USD, I'm expecting to push up as well. Again, NZD/USD had a really nice break of this low here. We broke through the low. You can see a nice break there, but that candle ran out of steam very quickly, gave us a nice long wick to the downside, pulled all the way back up and gave us a strong bullish candle in the opposite direction. So again, very common pattern actually, this pattern, where price tries to continue momentum in one particular direction. It will fail to do so, pull back up, and then you see the next candle, even push further in the opposite direction. We saw that in gold yesterday on the hourly time frame. So you can see here, we tried to sell off, that momentum failed, pull back up, then we saw a strong push and price closed bullish, and then we continue the opposite direction. So that's what I believe NZD/USD is doing on the 4H time frame, where we tried to sell off below that level. Again, normally does happen at support and resistance, and then we pulled bullish. So I'm expecting NZD/USD to push on. Again, not really too fast about trading it, because I'm currently in USD CAD, so I'm already in that USD pair. So I don't want to over risk myself, and plus USD CAD kind of coming into that kind of area where my entry is, especially with FOMC coming out later. I don't want to be in too many USD pairs, just in case price goes the wrong way, and I could end up with 2 or 3 failed trades in a row. So yeah, USD CAD still looking for that push down. Like I said at the start of the stream, as long as we can hold this support here, I will be staying in the trade. It's now acting as resistance. Nice bearish engulfing there at 6 a.m. So we are showing some evidence of holding onto that level, but I do think there's still a lot more room to the downside for this pair. If we do break above, like I said, I'll exit the trade and look for re-entries, because even if we do break above this level, I do think USD CAD can still fall over. essentially, as long as price stays below this level here, I'm expecting price to roll over. The only reason why I would exit the trade, beforehand is because you already had quite a big move. I don't want this to now go against me so much. When it was up 60 odd pips, there's no need for price to retrace and start going to the drawdown for that 60 pips. I'd rather just find another re-entry and then get back into the move. So yeah, USD-CAD stay below that. I'll remain in the trade. We'll see what happens with this. Again, having a tough time to see some downside. We can look at some other USD pairs and they're looking a lot stronger. So it does tell me that CAD is also seeing some weakness as well, maybe. CAD JPY slightly falling there. CAD CHF kind of sideways. So maybe we are seeing a little bit of a CAD weakness. So yeah, hopefully USD CAD can roll over again. We'll wait and see. But yeah, CAD is seeing a little bit downside, but essentially this is a very, very bullish pair. Looking at this on the daily and the weekly, yeah, USD CAD is extremely bullish. So yeah, for me, USD CAD I think still does have some upside to it. Again, if the weekly does continue that momentum, I would expect these highs to be revisited. Might see some downside before that move, so there could be some nice sells beforehand. But essentially, yeah, CAD JPY, I'm expecting more upside for this one. And again, the other JPY pairs as well. GJ, big move to the upside that we saw yesterday. We broke above those highs and price just kept going. Seeing some retracement today. I did say to you guys yesterday that I'm expecting 158 to be hit for pound JPY. Looks like price just came all the way back down just to retest that support, just to go bullish again. We pretty much saw this exact move happen not too long ago. Price came down and did the exact same move again. So price right now for pound JPY is fluctuating quite heavily, but overall, if we drop to the higher time frames, the weekly, you can see we are still pretty bullish here. The market's had quite a strong move up, running out momentum, yes, but we're still protecting that support. And like you always know, in a bullish market, support holds. In a bearish market, resistance holds, and you can clearly see that support level is holding there. If we broke through this, we could probably reverse and see a lot more downside, but we held on to it. And yeah, GJ looking strong. So like I said, 158, I see pound JPY heading to, I see pound USD heading to 1.36. So yeah, still pretty bullish on pound JPY and pound USD. As for opportunities for those pairs, again, probably not the best here. I think GJ is still retracing, so we need this one to find some support again, put another high low, and then we can get long and just ride that trend to the upside into that major resistance. Pound USD, like I said earlier, it's trading at that resistance, so it's not the best place to go long, even though we do have that bullish bias and we expect price to continue. Not the best area for that, so we could retrace one more, kind of like a bull flag kind of thing. So we've got the push, it goes, it retraces once, tries to go bullish, fails, tries to go bullish second time, and then we get the push. That could happen. Obviously we can still break it from where price is, but I'm talking about for potential entries. It would be nice to see price come down one more time and then move bullish. But either way, pound still looking good to the upside. So yeah, would not be interested in trying to sell the pair at all, really. US 30 still looking bullish. Really nice double bottom that we had there yesterday before those wicks came back in, wicked into the downside, closed bullish, saw the momentum just push through. So yeah, we've taken out that high there. I remember yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah, we were talking about targets for US 30, and I said 36,750 would be the first target, which price pretty much broke through quite easily. 36,750 there, broke through, and I said after that probably 37. So you haven't quite made 37, but price is still showing signs of bullish momentum. So I do think we can, head to 37, and from there we might see another retracement form. But yeah, for me, US 30, it's still looking very, very bullish right now. US 100 took an absolute dive. Was that yesterday? Yeah, more or less yesterday. It took a dive to the downside, broke beneath this very, very key area of support resistance, which I was not expecting price to do. It broke through, and now we're trading underneath. So yeah, this one I'm probably going to let breathe for a little bit. Again, I can still see it go bullish, but I think right now we're seeing a bit of retracement first. We could even end up at this area here, 16,000. We could potentially end around there. But we'll have to see. Right now, still looking way too bearish, so wouldn't know. But yeah, as of pairs that I'm looking at to trade, like I said, Euro USD, if we can get a break and retest of that, that could be something. Again, you can see you've got about 3 minutes left. It's pulled back there. That's why it's so important to wait for candle closures, because I remember last time we were looking at Euro USD, we were looking very, very bullish up there. Pull back. Again, some people might have got too excited and bought at those highs there just for price to pull back underneath the level. So definitely need to wait for those candle closures. We can still pull, push back above, but we'll have to find out in 3 minutes or so. But yeah, Euro USD for me, definitely looking for those buys. Either the break and retest of that, I'll go long, or if price does pull back one more time for a push, then I will go long. Pound USD, like I said, a bit of retracement needed. NZD USD not focusing too much. USD CAD still looking for that to roll over. NZD CAD is a pair that I've been looking at because it's been a bit of a funny pair recently, but I do think there's a good move in this one, either up or down, because we're coming into a very, very key, critical area of support and resistance, where this is the kind of the base for the range of NZD CAD. So you can see all the way from the 21st of May last year, coming into this year, 5th of Jan, the price has essentially failed to break below this. It did do it once, but it turned out to be a false break. We dipped below and price came straight back above. So essentially this level of support has held for quite a long time now, and it's trading at that level again. So we could easily see another push to the upside for NZD CAD on the daily time frame, which means on the lower we could really take advantage of that. At the same time, if we do break underneath, then we probably do have a very good opportunity to sell it on the retest right back down into these lows. So either which way, I'm looking at a push into the highs up here, about 100 pips, or into the lows here, about 90 pips. So yeah, NZD CAD, depends what we do in this consolidation. So far, it does look like we're holding that support. So if we can break out that consolidation, come back for the retest, buys will be looking good. Obviously you can look to buy it now, anticipate us breaking out the consolidation to the upside. Obviously slightly more risky, but essentially as long as your stop loss is below the level, you should be fine. Because if price does come back and take out below the consolidation, then price will probably continue down. So yeah, you can look to buy, but either wait for the break and retest outside the consolidation, or you can look to buy with your stop loss below. Either which way, if we do hold on to that, I'm expecting NZD CAD come back to these highs. If not, and we break below, then it's these lows I'm after. What do I think about pound NZD? Short term, let's take a look at that. Pound NZD. So pound NZD, we've seen some nice upside for this one, which we were expecting. We cleared a very important level of support and resistance, which was 1.96500. And I said my weekly analysis that if we do clear this, I'm expecting price to come into those highs up there at 1.99600 ish. So yeah, we've almost come into that level. We haven't quite tested that. So I can still see more upside for pound NZD. If you're looking at sells, I think some sells could be looking good, because if we do reject this level here, then there's a good chance price might roll back over, complete the pattern, because you can see previously, in this period over here, price was really fluctuating between that support and that resistance, respecting it, right back down, respecting it, back up, respecting it, right back down. So if we do hold this, there's a good chance price will come right back down, come back to retest this support here as well. So there could be some nice sells coming up to take this one right back down. But first, I do want to see a little bit more upside, test that level, properly, and then sell it off. You can still see the price action is very, very choppy with pound NZD. To be honest, the pair is a little bit choppy most of the time. But yeah, we're still displaying a lot of bullish price action here. I know we had that nice fake there above that high, so potentially we could roll over, and it might mean that we could roll over coming into this low and then go bullish. But for me, I want to see pound NZD push into 1.99600, which is that daily level, and then if we can respect that, then yeah, we could see some sells right back down into 1.96500. So essentially, I'm just looking to play the range between that resistance and that support. We could go bearish and not test that. We could come back down and come back for a retest. Yeah, I'll probably wait for a little bit more to happen first though. See if we can break some support first. Come back for a low high, then I can get short into those lows. But essentially, I want one more push up, and then yeah, sells will be looking good if we respect that area, of course. Thank you, much appreciated. No, I don't. No. But much appreciated, DS, much appreciated. Did you say you're from Zambia, or was your family from Zambia and you're from the UK? Eurocad close slightly bullish there. Again, just trying to see if we can hold below that support. So essentially, if we can come back for another retest, that would be great. Maybe even get a second entry. Not sure if I would though. Not sure if I would, unless it's a really, really good entry. But yeah, we'll have to see the entry. Maybe there could be a second, but essentially just stay below that. I'll be a happy bunny. Okay, so yeah, we see a lot of these USD pairs, they did pull back towards the end there. So essentially we do need to see more of that momentum before we can get long. Euro USD especially pull back there just before that candle closed. And preferably you do want to see price break through. Obviously we could come back for another retest. I'm not sure if we will do that. So if we do that, great, we'll look for buys. But if we can break above that, that'll be fantastic. Come back for the retest, and then we'll look to push this one higher if we can get some good entries. But yeah, we failed to push through that one. Pound USD also holding that as resistance. Gold pullback as well. Maybe could we come back for that retest? We'll have to find out. But yeah, gold is just I mean, gold is showing some nice structure, some nice price action. Not really my cup of tea, to be honest with you. not really my cup of tea. There's cleaner FX pairs out there. But again, I know gold is a very popular pair. A lot of people like to trade it. Maybe if NZD/USD came back down, we could see some nice buys. It's moving this channel, so break out of that. Expecting a push back to those highs. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'll look to get into another USD pair other than USD CAD. Actually, other than Euro USD as well, because Euro USD I'm a big fan of. I mean, not really how it's been moving recently, but I just like trading the pair. It's probably my most traded pair. So yeah, there's an opportunity in Euro USD. 9 times out of 10, I'll probably look to take it. Pound AUD, sorry, coming to a very strong area here of support. If we can snap through that, maybe we might sell off, hold it, we could continue bullish. Hey, yeah, I was right, I was remembered. To be fair, I think you're probably the only person who's ever said that on the stream, so it's quite difficult to forget something like that. Oh, you were born in Zambia? Whereabouts in Zambia were you born? I've only been to Zambia once, and that was actually on a school trip, believe it or not. But yeah, I had a great time in Zambia. Nice. Yeah, I mean, candlestick closure is a big one because so it's a lot to do with psychology as well, which fascinates me a lot. Because you see a bullish candle, you get excited, you want to buy. You see a bearish candle, you get excited, you want to sell. And it's all to do with that, just triggers in your brain, which makes you want to click that buy button or click that sell button. But when it's closed, that's when all your logic and everything, from your logical point of view comes into play, comes into your mind, so you can actually make some good, high quality decisions, and it takes emotions out of it. So yeah, candle closures is a big thing. And it gives you the full, the full detail of the candle. Which is why on the daily chart, I don't really pay attention to the current daily candle, because that can change a lot by the time it closes. Again, about 10 hours left until this daily candle closes, so I'm not really paying too much attention to this current daily candle. I'm mainly focused on the previous candles beforehand to make my decision. So sometimes, there could be a current daily candle that's looking very, very bearish. I'm going long against it. And by the time the daily candle's closed, it's actually flip bullish or something like that. So yeah, I don't try and pay attention too much to the open candles. But yeah, I'm not seeing too much in the charts right now. I mean, a lot of pairs are looking good. A lot of pairs are looking like they could be presenting some opportunities. But yeah, as time gets closer to FOMC, the more, the less I'm inclined to stick on another trade. Like I said, I'm currently in USD CAD, and as long as we stay below that, I probably will stay in through the news. Maybe I might take some more off just in case. But yeah, if I'm still in that trade and price hasn't broken above the resistance, I will stay in the trade for the news. So entering another position, especially USD position, doesn't make too much sense for me there. So yeah, the more as time gets closer to the news, I'm less inclined to stick on a trade. Like I said, Euro USD is probably at the top of my watch list for buys. Not for buys, but for an opportunity in general. Obviously, I'm looking to buy it. But yeah, if we can break above, retest, happy to get some buys. I'm not too sure if we will do that in the time given. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. But if we do, see what time it is, how long we've got left to the news, and then if there's enough time, I'll place a buy. If not, I'll leave it for tomorrow. Okay, so born in Monza, yeah, I have not heard of that place, to be honest. Yeah, to be fair, my knowledge is not that good of Zambia. I know of a few places, kind of like the major cities, Lusaka, Livingston. I know some small places, Kabwe, Ndola, that's where my mum's from. But yeah, my knowledge of Zambia is not too good. So, whereabouts is that? Is that north? Is that south? I'm thinking gold is going to 1820 before it goes to a bullish route around 1800 to 1802. Okay, we'll take a look at gold. So you're expecting 1820. $18,000. So you're expecting gold to come back down, back to 1800, which is down here. I mean, I'm quite bullish on gold. It's not the most bullish pair in the world because the pullbacks are quite aggressive. You can see that the pullbacks are quite aggressive, so it's not really a good sign for price going bullish if the bears are having a fairly good time taking price down again. But structure is structure. We're still putting those higher highs in, those higher lows in, and we respected that low there at 1800 quite well yesterday. So for me, I'm still bullish on gold. I'm looking for gold to come back to 1830 essentially. Right now, I don't have much evidence that we are going to sell off. We broke out this consolidation this morning here. So price was trading in that area between 1812, 1816. We've broken out of that. Obviously, we can break back in. So essentially, if price can stay above this area, I do expect us to push through. There's this area that I do have my eye on, which could send price down. But if we can hold that and not tank up and not sell off, not tank to the downside, I do think we can push bullish back to 1830. Obviously, could be wrong. We could come back to 1800, 1802. But yeah, I need a little bit more signs than that we're going to go bearish yet, because I haven't really seen much signs. I know otherwise, apart from this very aggressive sell-off, this could be retracement to roll over. But yeah, looking from the daily, looking at the structure, I'm getting a lot of bullish signs from this one. So I'll need price to give me some evidence of putting a lower high in. Then if we do that, then I could be looking at potential downside. But so far, I haven't had any evidence of a lower high formation yet. And all we're getting is a lot of bullish momentum, especially breaking out that kind of consolidation this morning. So yeah, I can see potentially 1800 if we do, sell off and put that lower high in. But I just haven't had any of that price action yet. We're still looking way too bullish. So yeah, for me, I'm expecting more upside until otherwise. It's each to their own. Again, if it's in your plan to look for those sells, and if you do get a sell, fair enough. Again, you can just see it out, because it's not about being right all the time. It's just being, not trying to lose as much and trying to win, more often. So yeah, until I see a bit more evidence that we could go bearish, then cool. I'll be looking for those sells if it looks good. But yeah, I just don't have that much evidence just yet. Yeah, fair enough. You can leave it for a few hours. I mean, sometimes I do that when pairs are not looking good, when it's moving a little bit not the best, or when I haven't got a clear bias. Normally I give it like a day. So I wait for the next daily candle closure, wait for a couple sessions to roll by, and then I come back, refresh, looking at the pair with a clear perspective, or a fresh perspective, I should say. Yeah, if it's not clear, yeah, it's best to stay away. Okay, South. No, she doesn't speak Tonga. She speaks Bemba. She speaks Bemba. Yeah. I don't think she speaks Tonga. It's Bemba she speaks. You crack me up. Any potential pairs? I believe in you. Yeah, I'm currently in USD CAD right now. Nice push to the downside, suffering some retracement now. We do have this support here on the left, term resistance, which essentially, as long as we can stay below, I'll remain in the trade. If we break above, I'll exit the trade. Because again, we had a really nice push to the downside from that entry, about 60 odd pips, and our price has come against me. So I don't want price to come further. I'd rather just look for a re-entry than suffer the drawdown. So yeah, if price breaks above that, I'll be out of the trade. Potentially, if we do have a successful retest of this area, there could be some entries to get back involved. Other than that, I'm not seeing too much. I'm looking at Euro USD. If it can break through this high, which it looks like it potentially might do, still about 42 minutes left of that candle closure, so a lot can happen. But if it does break above that, for me, I'm quite bullish on Euro USD. I'm expecting the DXY to collapse to the downside here. Again, we've got my targets down there. That push that we saw on Monday, I think it's the last bullish push. Grab some liquidity above that previous high there, and I think it's time for the DXY to really start to roll over now, because we tried to go bullish on a number of occasions. We've seen this momentum here, tried to push through. That momentum has failed. We had one more attempt to try and go bullish yesterday. After that sell-off, we tried to gain some momentum to go bullish, rolled over, failed. So for me, DXY is getting ready to drop. Been trading for 2 months, so fairly new to this, so I'm just trying to soak up all the information I can. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, if you're 2 months in, again, it's not about making money or trying to hit the most successful trades in a row or anything like that. Yeah, your main goal, if you're 2 months deep, is just get as much information, but also get to building some good habits in, because when you're like 2 months in, it's very, very important that you don't, build bad habits that will be difficult to shake off, as you progress. Because I think that's one of the main things that slowed my progression down, is that I picked up some bad habits, and then I had to spend a lot of time to get rid of those bad habits and install good ones. So yeah, your time right now, if you're 2 months in, is mainly just getting good habits in, keeping your emotions out, journaling, recording your trades, and yeah, just learning. For me, gold is going for Tuesday's highs. It consolidates at 50% of the drops. I think it will go high. Yeah, I'm bullish on gold as well. Astro Creep. 1820 is an important level. Yeah, 1820 could hold as some resistance. I mean, price is trading around that 1820 mark right now, but for me, I'm looking at gold coming back into that 1830 mark up here, where you can see all those major highs, you know, 2, 3, 4. So I'm looking at price coming back into that 1830, which essentially is, you know, Tuesday's highs. So yeah, I would expect to see gold push into those highs there. We're breaking out that consolidation as well, which we did kind of this morning. Yeah, this morning, but kind of mid-London session there. So yeah, I do think we can push further. We're coming to this area here. We do have some support and resistance above us there that might cause some struggle, but I haven't had much evidence that this is going to roll over, and the fact that we're breaking out that consolidation to the upside again, you know, is reiterating, showing that the bulls are in control. So for me, I'm looking at gold coming to 1830. Again, I'm not looking to trade the pair. I've got the bias bullish. I'm not really seeing that good of a setup, so I'm not looking to trade it. But it does look good for push into 1830. Maybe if I can get a clear setup, I might look to trade it, but yeah, nothing now. Waits to 1.273 to sell. Take a look at that. 1.273. Okay, so waiting for price to come into there to sell. Fair enough. I mean, essentially we'll come into that support time resistance. So essentially if we hold this area here, which is kind of more 1.72, I do think we can come down. I do think we can come down from here for USD-CAD, but obviously price action not really showing us too much signs that we are going to come down yet. Nice bearish engulfing there. If I just move this out of the way. Nice bearish engulfing there at 6 a.m. We're coming back into retest it again. If I drop to 30 minute, again, nothing there. So if you can have a strong reaction, maybe a strong bearish engulfing again, could be a nice entry signal. Looking for that next lower high after that strong impulse. And then yeah, you could get some nice sells back down there. I wouldn't sell it now. I'd wait for some bearish momentum to creep back in, because at the moment right now it's kind of sideways, so difficult to tell if that level's going to hold or not. So yeah, wait for some strong, you know, bearish momentum, nice bearish engulfing, something like that. Use that as an entry trigger, and then yeah, I'd expect USD-CAD to roll over. Okay, yeah, that's what he said, Tuesday's highs. Yeah, I agree with you there, Astro Creep. Good evening, MJ. Have you covered AUSD? I'll get onto that right now. Is anyone in a current trade with gold right now? Yeah, I'm not in a trade with gold. Long from 17.99 yesterday, nice. 17.99, that's all the way down here. Very, very nice. Yeah, very, very good entry there. Yeah, you can probably hold on to that for a lot longer. Hopefully news doesn't cause too much ruckus with gold. But yeah, hopefully that can push into those highs for you. But yeah, AUSD, oh, okay, so AUSD looks like it potentially could be breaking above this level here. Very, very strong support here that held all that consolidation on the left there for AU. And now we're breaking above it, well, hopefully breaking above it. We've still got about 35 minutes left for these candle closures. So yeah, for me, AUSD, I think this sell-off here was just, you know, catching people out really, breaking below, you know, this significant support here on the left. I think we've seen the exact same thing happen with the NZD-USD as well. Price just faking below that significant low, and I think we're going to go bullish now. Same thing for AUSD. So for me, I'm looking at AUSD coming back into these highs. Coming into the week, had a bullish bias, expecting 0.73 to be hit, or roughly around that area. So I think that target is fully back on now. And yeah, I'm very, very bullish here for AUSD. I'm very bearish on the DXY. So for me, pretty much every USD pair, like AUD, Pound USD, Euro USD, expecting them to go up. USD CAD, USD CHF, expecting that to come down. So yeah, for me, AUD, if we can break above this, that would be nice, because then we can use that for potential entries, and you can go long, look to trade the range from this support into the highs, and then maybe if we can snap through the highs, we can push into 0.73. So yeah, essentially expecting more upside for AU. I know we slightly closed above there on the previous candle, but not the most convincing close. So maybe if this momentum can push on a little bit further, that would be great. Come back for the retest, get some nice entries there, and then yeah, push that further. Did partials at 18.12. Nice, good trade management there as well. Yes, may close it before today's news. Yeah, today's news could cause a lot of movement either against or for. I think in your position, because you've got so much mileage on your trade so far. I mean, an entry from 17.99 down there to where price is, to where potentially it could go, that's pretty much almost 200 pips there for gold. So I think in your situation with FOMC coming out later, yeah, I wouldn't run the risk of holding that trade, just for the possibility that price can maybe move an extra 100 pips in that direction, to potentially go 200 against you. The maths doesn't make too much sense there. So yeah, I'll probably take that profit and run really. Yeah, DXY has been ranging since, it feels like forever, but DXY, for me, I do think it's time to roll over for this one, because I've been having a very, very close eye on DXY for the past probably about a few weeks now, because I do like it when the market consolidates, not because it's good to trade, but normally because of what comes after. I'm train my eye to be able to spot breakouts just before they happen. Again, I don't get it right all the time, but I have some nice success from it recently. So what's happening here, it does look like DXY is just giving us one more push to grab some liquidity above those highs, and I do think DXY is going to drop. Again, obviously we'll be more certain when price actually does break this low, because when price does break that low, it would be much more obvious that price will see some downside. But I think here price is getting ready to drop, so that's what I'm expecting for the DXY. Obviously there's a lot left to do. There's a lot of support we need to take out first before we do get that breakout. But yeah, I'm just going to anticipate it a little bit early, and that's what I'm expecting for the DXY. So I'm expecting a lot of weakness from it. Again, we do have some news coming out, so that could skew things up. We might see a massive bullish candle going back up again. And then if that's the case, I'll just reanalyze the pair, see what's happening after that. But as things stands right now, I do think we can see some more downside for the DXY. Nice, MJ. Yeah, do watch out for the news coming out later though, because that could maybe push price against you. Let me get some water. That can maybe push price against you, but yeah, in terms of bias and where I do expect AU to be heading over the next couple of days or so, is definitely to the upside. Maybe news might change that up, and then I'll have to reanalyze the pair, see where we can go from there next. But as things stands right now, my bias is to the upside, and I would expect more upside for this one. So yeah, if you can push past that one, that kind of barrier there at 0.72460, then we could see a lot more upside for your trade, push that back into highs, maybe even further. But in terms of direction, yeah, I do agree with you on that one. Okay, we'll take a look at that for you. 1824 will be perfect for today. Yeah, potentially we could do 1824. Again, we still do have a few hours left before some news hits. I mean, we might have some news before that. Actually, I'm going to go quickly check just in case. Okay, so yeah, we do have some news at 1:15 GMT for US dollar, ADP, and then we've got some more new USD news coming out at 2:45, so about 3 hours from now, and then FOMC at 7 and about 7.5 hours from now. So yeah, there's actually a few news events. Obviously FOMC is the big one, but we potentially could do 1824. We could do 1824 if price just squeezed that, because we've broken out this consolidation now. So if that is successful and we keep that momentum up, that could give us the energy to push through. But yeah, I mean, it's already a winning trade for you. So, you know, whatever happens, it won't be such a bad day. Also long on EU, but it's just feeling good. Not feeling good. Why not feeling good on Euro USD? Euro USD looks good. Euro USD looks good. Looks like it potentially could clear those highs now. I'm looking to get long on Euro. I'm looking to get long on this one. So yeah, if I can, I'm more than happy to join you on that one. I mean, I probably understand why you're not feeling 100% on it, because it's a very, very ugly pair right now. The way it's been moving is very, very hectic. Yeah, so it's definitely not the clearest setup. Not the clearest setup, but white green candle is what is scary. Yeah, I mean, I'll wait for it to close before I consider it scary. I'll wait for it to close. If we can close, you know, how it is looking now, then as long as we can stay above this level, I think Euro can start to push into some of these levels here on the left, you know, up there as well. Because essentially all Euro has done for the past kind of day or so is just consolidate. And if it can break out that consolidation to the upside, then, you know, that's great. Obviously, if it's a false break, then we could roll straight back over to these lows. But if it's a true break, which I think it could be, as long as we can get a nice close, then yeah, I think we could be seeing Euro really push to the upside. And DXY is pretty much in sync as well. Yeah, AUSD 0.74746. Yeah, AUSD for me, on the daily time frame, I can see this one pushing up further. I mean, I do have to admit, this price action here is a little bit corrective, so it's not giving us, or giving me, so much confidence that's going to start flying off to the upside, because this is very, very impulsive compared to that at least. So we might push on further. Again, for the week, I do have the target of 0.73. Which I think we could still meet. I think we can still meet before the end of the week. Today's Wednesday, so if we do see a couple bullish days, we can hit 0.73, clear those highs, push on further. We can push on further potentially 0.746. That's around over there. So that's a relatively big push. We could potentially hit that. Again, that will be a fair few days before we get to something like that. But like I said, if the DXY does what I'm expecting it to do, which is, you know, tank to the downside, that means a lot of these USD pairs could see a lot of upside with that US dollar weakness in mind. So yeah, we could actually hit that. Again, it will take, you know, a fair bit of time before we do that. So definitely a patience game, but from a daily point of view, still looking bullish, a little bit corrective for my liking. but structure is structure, and it looks like we had a nice break and retest of this level here. Resistance, support, continuation. So yeah, I do agree, you can see some nice upside. USD CAD looking fairly strong. So yeah, if USD CAD pushes above that, I'll probably just exit the trade there. That means that CAD must be fairly weak, because DXY is seeing some weakness, but USD CAD isn't falling. So that means that CAD is also seeing some weakness. And yeah, it kind of is. You see some other CAD pairs. Pound CAD pushing up, Eurocad, I think that was pushing up, was it? Yeah, Eurocad was pushing up. Yeah, very much so. And CAD pushing up very much so as well. So yeah, CAD is definitely seeing some weakness. So that's why USD CAD is struggling to roll over. If it does close above that, I'm just going to exit that trade, to be honest. Really banked some profit coming into here, so I'm happy with that trade. Obviously didn't hit the full target, which was down here. I was potentially looking to push it further, but it doesn't look like USD CAD wants to. It might push back up a couple times, because I still do think USD CAD will roll over. I'm exiting the trade, but doesn't mean that I don't think USD CAD will roll over. We could see more upside, maybe form another lower high or something, and then roll over. Maybe you want to come tap back into that level up there and then roll over, something like that. I will be keeping a close eye on USD CAD, but if we do break above, then essentially I'm going to cut that trade there and then look for re-entries, because like I said, I still do think DXY is going to drop. So I do think USD CAD will fall with it. It just might take its time. It might be a little bit slower than the other pairs. But essentially, USD CAD, I'm looking at price coming all the way back down into 1.25 down here. So I'm seeing if USD CAD can make that move. So far it's holding on to this support here. But yeah, I do think we can go break through it. So we'll see how that candle closes. Again, we've still got 22 minutes, so I'm not going to make any decision yet, but we will see. Pretty much every other USD pair is showing that weakness. Actually, USD CHF is struggling a little bit as well. CHF may be weak as well. But yeah, USD CHF hasn't been moving well at all, to be honest with you. Very, very corrective. A little bit difficult to trade, so not really focusing on that pair too much. How's USDJPY doing? USDJPY is looking bearish still. Again, like I said, we could be coming back for the retest of this level here. 115.523. That could be where USDJPY is heading towards. It was looking very, very bullish yesterday, but coming today, not so much. Pound USD still trying to break through that high there. So we'll see what happens at that level. But yeah, pound is struggling. Pound needs to break above this level to push through to 1.36. If it doesn't, like I said, it might see one more push down before the push up. I'm still bullish on pound, but it's struggling to break through that high. You're out of euro, fair enough. Yeah, it's starting to pull back a little bit now. I'm still going to wait to see how that candle closes, because if that candle does pull all the way back below that level, yeah, euro might fall over one more time. It might fall back over. But yeah, we've definitely come into these highs here and we've just about taken it out there. So if euro does roll over, we need to pull back underneath there and push through. But if we can see that breakout, then I do think euro is still seeing upside. Then we do have FMC coming up later anyway, so anything can happen there really. AUC, what did I just say? AUD USD still holding above that. NZD USD still looking fairly strong there as well. Yeah, fair enough. We'll see what happens when that candle closes, but that's when I'm going to make my verdict. But to be honest with you, Euro USD is moving a mess, so yeah, difficult to really have confidence in trading this one. But your gold trade, you know, is doing very, very well, so wouldn't worry too much about that. Pound AUD struggling at that support. Again, not too sure about this one. I want to see how price can react with this level here, because that could give us a nice little level to work with and take that higher. But we do have a little bit more downside before we come into that level. So yeah, I'll probably keep that one on the watch list, but nothing yet for that one. Wow, NZD CAD is pushing up. So yeah, NZD CAD looks like this one is going to push further. So like I said, 0.87500 is where I'm seeing NZD CAD heading. It's tried to break through that daily support a few times now. You can see on the daily chart, really nice support resistance going across there. That was a false break of it. We've come back for the retest. So that is, you know, naturally where I do expect price to head to, that level there. We could break through, of course, but not going to try and be overconfident with that. So yeah, now that potentially we've got the break, we've still got about 18 minutes or so before that candle closes, but now that potentially we've got the break, looking for that next higher low to form, and then yeah, more than happy to get in some longs for this one. Makes a lot of sense. Seen a nice bearish move, consolidation. Now the bulls can probably take over and take this thing right back up. So yeah, that's what I'm expecting for NZD CAD. Maybe we can get something later today. If not, we'll be looking at this one tomorrow. Again, that CAD weakness helping out NZD CAD, but not doing too many favors for my current trade. Again, obviously we'll wait for the candle to close to make my judgment, because we can still pull back underneath and then potentially roll over. Price might want to just take those highs out to push on. But if we do break above, I'm just going to look for some re-entries rather than staying for drawdown. Made some small, nice profit on USJY. Check it out, still moving down. Nice TV tube. Yeah, USJY looking bearish still. Again, when we did break through this high, I was saying yesterday on my stream that potentially we could be coming back down for the retest of it, because we failed to get that retest. And normally when we do break key areas, we either retest it very, very quickly after, or we make the move and then eventually come back for the retest. And you can see price took out this high there on the left at 115.523, broke through, never came back for the retest, and now we're seeing that momentum come through. So yeah, USJY still looking good. I think someone else got into some nice shorts again for USJY yesterday. I think they entered around up here. Really, really good entry. So yeah, I do think 115.523 is where USJY is heading. We could head further, we could break through, but I just want to see how price reacts with it first, and then I'll make a more informed decision of what I expect USD-JPY to do next. If we can hold on to this, then we could be seeing that bullish momentum come back in again. But if we just break straight back below, it might just be a big false break of that, and we could be seeing a lot more downside. But yeah, that was a nice catch there for USD-JPY, looking bearish there, kind of riding that US dollar momentum. JPY still a little bit strong. But yeah, nice move there, because a very, very strong move up, and now we're seeing a fairly strong move back down. So it'd be interesting to see if we hold this this high, or if we break through the high. Pound is still trying to push through. We'll see if that can last. Yeah, Euro AD I'm expecting now to roll over. Same with Euro NZD, come right back down to those lows. Yeah, AU's pushing up. So yeah, I'm quite confident with DXY coming down. Again, it's not that not the cleanest setup in the world, but I've seen this kind of setup happen a lot of times, especially when I'm back testing, going through the market. I've seen this happen a lot of times just before we do sell off, because coming into the week we were trading around here, was it? Yeah, maybe around there coming into the week. So I was expecting just to see that momentum continue, but obviously we saw this big push. So it's either price is trying to go bullish again, or it's just doing one more move to maybe attract some buyers before we do roll this over. So the fact that momentum has depleted so aggressively, it's a big sign saying that we're coming right back down, and essentially price is just giving us a nice double top there, and now looking at the DXY coming right back down to these lows, and essentially that daily low there, which is why I'm trying to get into some Euro USD buys and take advantage of the opportunity, obviously in the opposite direction. So looking at longs for Euro, I just want to see price break above this level here. Got about 30 minutes left, so if we can break above, get a fairly bullish close above, we'll be looking at the retest to go long. If not, I might wait till tomorrow, because we do have that FOMC, and it might be a little bit too risky to get involved in trades now, because if I do get involved in the Euro long, it's not just for a few pips here, it's not just for the rest of the day, it's kind of like a swing trade. So I want to kind of hold the entry probably into next week to see if I can really take advantage of that breakout. So I'm going to be in it for a few days if it's successful, of course. So it might be best to wait after the news to enter rather than before. So it looks like we're getting a breakout now, but I'll see if when we get that retest how long we have to the news, and if it's within just a few hours, I'll probably just wait after the news coming till Thursday, look for some entries there. And then targets will be the high, of course, 1.13866, and then we can push that a lot further. We've got this kind of support here on the left that I do think we'll come back with a retest of, and obviously that major support on the daily all across here will be the end goal for it. I'm not sure if I'll hold on that long, but I'll see if I can probably push it into that area, which is from where price is trading now, about 120 pips, which is not bad for Euro USD. So we'll see how this USD kind of closes, and I'll make my mind up on that. But we're seeing a lot of strength here. No, actually a lot of weakness for USD. Hey, much appreciated. Yeah, of course. I mean, again, all I want to do is grow kind of the channel, create a nice community of traders, because again, trading can be quite lonely. It's not really something you do together. You can do it together, but it's kind of each their own. So yeah, I mean, I do my best to see where I can take the channel. So much appreciated, man. Much appreciated. Hey, love that too, Chia. Love that too. Thanks for the kind words. But yeah, there's no sweat off my back because, going back to analyze some pairs that I've already analyzed, sometimes I do miss some things and I do add that in. So it can sometimes actually benefit me to analyze it, to go back. I mean, gold, I actually missed this whole level here, which I don't know how I missed, but I missed this whole big level of resistance about last week when I was analysing the pair, and then when I came back to analyse it, I just noticed it. So it can actually benefit me as well, going back to analyse pairs. But yeah, thanks for the kind words, guys, much appreciated. But yeah, not many pairs I'm looking at, just Euro USD pretty much. USD CAD, we'll see how that one closes. But yeah, Euro USD is still looking very, very good in my opinion. But I'll probably wait for tomorrow, to be honest, for an entry. Because yeah, for price to come back down, it may take a couple hours to get an entry. And by then, maybe like 4 or 5 hours have passed. And in 4 or 5 hours, you've got about 2 hours left before the news. So yeah, I'll probably just call it for tomorrow. I'll keep my eye on it just in case, but yeah, I'll probably trade it tomorrow. But either which way, guys, Euro USD for me is looking good for those longs. Pretty much all the USD pairs. But Euro, I think, is the best because Euro is kind of the only USD pair that hasn't really moved. If you look at pound, that's moved to the upside. AUD, that's moved fairly to the upside. Not the best, but it has seen some upside. USD CAD seen some downside. So Euro USD is the only pair that hasn't really seen much upside. It's just been moving sideways. So that means it's building, and it needs to relieve itself and relieve all that pressure eventually. So it means that potentially we could get quite a nice explosion to the upside when it does happen. Yeah, that USD CAD is looking tight, but we'll see how it closes. Normally I would trade my stop loss to break even when price hits about 30-40 bits of my profit, like Euro JPY, but mainly got hit on stop loss. I mean, yeah. The only advice I'll give to you really is that because if this is something that you recently started doing, or is this something that you be doing all the time, because essentially what we need to do in trading is just do the best thing for us, that will give us the best opportunity to do well in a long period of time. So for example, for your Euro JPY trade there, it came back and stopped you out at break even. That could just be one trade that didn't work too well, but over the next 20 trades, moving your stop loss to break even after 30-40 pips actually keeps you avoiding price coming against you, and it allows you to have a lot of your winners run. So it might just be one bad trade, not bad trade, one unlucky trade, unfortunate trade, but the majority is doing well, and the only way you would know that is if you're doing it a long time. But if you're just starting out, then obviously you don't have enough information to know if 30-40 pips is actually a good amount of pips for you to use. The way I do it, I kind of just use like my TPs, because I use multiple TPs. I kind of use my TPs as areas where potentially could go my stop loss to break even, or if price starts to form lower highs or higher lows in my favor, then potentially I can move my stop loss to break even. For this trade example, it didn't actually really form a lower high. If price dropped to the downside, pulled back and then dropped again, that would be a really nice place to put my stop loss to break even, because I've got protection. Here, price is still retracing up against me, but it's already moved into my first TP, so I'm not going to be prepared to sustain drawdown, so I can still exit my trade. But essentially what I'm trying to say is that, you know, if you just started doing the 30-40 pip thing, then you need to do it a long time to find out, okay, this is good for me or bad for me. And if you've been doing it a long time and it still gives you a lot of trades hitting your stop loss for break even, then you might need to change it up and maybe push it to more 50 pips to give you that bit more wiggle room, or maybe consider maybe not even moving your stop loss to break even. So again, it's all about try and error, and yeah, essentially back testing, we can really take advantage of that. But yeah, that Euro JPY trade could just be one bad trade, or again, maybe another trade happened. It could just be two unfortunate trades going against you. But yeah, you just need to know over a long period of time. Hey, nice, WTV. Do you trade smart money fundamentally? No, not really. I don't trade smart money, and I don't really trade fundamentally either. Again, fundamentals is definitely something that I'm adding to my game, because pretty much all of my trading career I've been pretty much 100% technical, like 99% technicals. So yeah, definitely fundamentals is something that I'm adding to my game, but yeah, smart money fundamentally at the moment, no. Yeah, I don't really trade smart money. Nice, Chia, happy to help, man. But yeah, your NZJPY trade seems to be moving nice. Your USD at the moment seems to be moving nice as well. So hopefully those trades get to keep, you know, moving that direction for you. But yeah, Euro USD's got about 2 minutes left before it closes. So, you know, as long as it doesn't pull back rapidly in the next 2 minutes, we should be seeing a break of that level. We do obviously have some smaller time frame levels here on the left with those wicks. So I've probably dropped like the 5 minute. You can see there's obviously a level of resistance here, which price is now coming into. But essentially, if we can pull back onto this, hold the level, get that retest which we're looking for, you know, we can see that continuation. But essentially, yeah, Euro looking good to move on. Pound still attacking that resistance. It needs a little bit of a kick. Again, we do have some news today, which will probably be the catalyst for it, or we could tank. Okay, so USD CAD still pulling back. We'll see how it closes. We've got about a minute 30. So we can see if we can hold that level or not. Because again, I'm still expecting that dollar weakness. So if I do exit, I will be looking for, you know, an entry again. But if it doesn't, I'll see if we can put a nice, you know, kind of, you know, respect that double top and then drop again. And then maybe I could even looking for another entry, something like this, if I'm feeling brave, to see if we can push that down again even further and really take advantage of that. But we'll see. But yeah, guys, it is coming to the end of the stream. We'll be going live again tomorrow, so I hope I do see you guys there. Again, you know, if I'm still in this USD CAD pair, I will be talking you through, you know, what's happened over the course of today, coming into tomorrow for the stream. So I do hope to see you guys there. Oh, is it not in your local restriction? Wow. Because yeah, IC Markets is Wow, what broker do you use, Chia? What broker do you use? Okay, so yeah, the candles just closed. We pull back beneath that, so yeah, I'll remain in the trade, but it pretty much stays the same. If this next candle closes back above, I'll exit. So essentially, every candle now needs to stay below that for me to remain in this trade. Essentially, bounce from that and drop. That's what I'm looking for. If we break above, then yeah, I'll exit the trade. But so far, nothing's happened, so I'm still gonna remain in the trade. I mean, maybe you can look at some other brokers, Chia. Um, Hopefully, your restrictions are not too restrictive. Okay, that will go. Yeah, I haven't heard of them. I have not heard of them. Yeah, Euro closed above fairly confidently as well. So yeah, I'm expecting Euro to push off now as well. Yeah, these USD pairs did close fairly strong. So yeah, like I said, Euro is probably the main pair I'm looking to trade coming into today for the rest of the day. Coming into tomorrow, USD is probably the main pair I'm looking to trade. Seeing catch some nice buys of this one. I'm looking for price to come back to these highs. Again, if it's too close to FMC, I'll look for entries tomorrow. And yeah, still currently in USD CAD right now. So you'll see how that gets on. If I do get anything, I will let you guys know in the Telegram. So feel free to go check that out if you want to. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream and all. Again, I will be live again tomorrow, 10 a.m. GMT to 12 p.m. GMT. I hope I do see you guys there. If I get any entries, I'll put it in the Telegram. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great day and stay safe. Do you have some news announcements coming out? So try not to force any opportunities and make sure you do manage your risk because it could get ugly. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
anywhere you go.